From Okwaba everybody update TV. So then I will share you na or subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share never comment show. Ne nyinaa yɛ Afenyo Markins ne Sam George. Afenyo Markins sorry no resist submission bi. Na ebetie from Afenyo the way Afenyo si kasa is some of them they don't come to parliament then in the reference of what Sam George because they don't come to parliament. When they come to parliament they make noise. Ɛna Sam George sorry gyina ɛna object against what Afenyo Markin said. Afenyo Markin should withdraw and apologize immediately or else no power. That was a very serious matter in Parliament today as it is right now ongoing. So we are still following proceedings. Monitor proceedings. There's so much of it. The moment Afenyo raised that concern, some of them don't come to parliament. When they come they make noise and all stuff and the moment need Sam George so sorry object is he should what withdraw and apologize to the majority being the majority in the house. It's zoom into the this scene
guided by the rules for you to say that some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to make noise. Let's consider this statement
into the country. You are even introducing what you are calling the gold board and all to encourage mining activities and to encourage investors in that sector. But in the justification by the finance minister, he focused only on gold, forgetting about other sectors, other areas, other minerals. Mr. Speaker, it is strange that this government that came into office promising Ghanaians that taxes will be repealed is now imposing more taxes on Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, paragraph 7.1, and by the way, start bringing your people in because we are going to vote on this. I've seen, we want Ghanaians to know a lot of empty seats. Anyway, let me go on. Mr. Speaker, we want Ghanaians to know. Point 1. The committee, having carefully scrutinized the bill, proposes the following amendment for the consideration of the House. So, Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed, clause 2. They are deleting and inserting a new schedule for those who are asking me to provide evidence of increase. We want Ghanaians to know this. You are amending from 1% to 3%. Speaker, I've been asking this question and I will ask it for the umpteenth time. Is this government really for the private sector? Ask again. We want Ghanaians to know. Some few minutes ago, you extended the special import levy. You even wanted to do it for, into perpetuity until we saw through and stopped you. And then now you're saying you're extending it to 2028. Now you are done with spare part delays. You are done with Aboso kind businessmen. You are now burdening the Swame businessman. You have now moved to the mining sector. And then you claim that they are making supernormal profit. Do you have proof of their financial statements? Have you listened to the industry players? And like my respected colleague Kabiru said, you are aware that the industry players have petitioned you, yet the Ethiopia Mahama administration is going ahead. You are not listening to industry players.
Honorable Minority Leader, I recognize the chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, when they are on their feet, we allow them to finish. When it gets to our point,
Honorable member,
Mr. Speaker, I'm asking.
you see, I've been mentioning that the rules are clear.
Yes.
That you don't speak a language other than English. When you speak another language, you translate. So when such a thing happens and a member is on his feet, I am inclined to recognize the member.
Mr. Speaker, bear with me. So you want me to interpret the Ethiopia?
Yes, so when you say it and the member is on his feet,
right, you should sit
I have
down.
to recognize the member.
I'll interpret the Ethiopia.
I have recognized the member.
You've recognized him?
Yes.
Very well. No problem. Have a bite, Honorable Chair.
It's clear that the minority leader was not at committee. We got a petition from the Chamber of Mines. We called them, gave them audience, and they made their case. And the minister made his case, and they abandoned their case and moved on. So it is not true. It is not true. We want Ghanaians to know. And we are not going to tolerate
Honorable Minority Leader.
Dictatorship in this chamber.
Honorable Minority Leader.
How can you increase?
I recognize Majority Leader. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
How can you do this?
Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader has given very clear indication the direction of things. He says they are going to oppose. Mr. Speaker, can we have an indication as to how much speaking time people should have on these matters? Because we are clear that even if you speak for 1 hour, we are going to vote in the end. So let's just go ahead and vote. Let's just go ahead and vote. So, Mr. Speaker, let's have a clear indication as to time for leadership to speak. Vote.
Honorable Minority Leader, try and conclude.
Mr. Speaker, this thing started some few weeks back. I decided to ignore, but today and this very time, this evening, I want to respond. Mr. Majority Leader, most respectfully, I shall continue to accord you every respect. Please allow debate to flow. It is very clear to me that you are not ready to listen to dissenting views, and particularly those who come here to heckle. They come in during voting time. Those who really want to debate, they stay. We have few of you who stay in for debate. When it gets to voting, you are whipped in, and all you come is to make noise and distract and to be heckling. Mr. Speaker, the point here is the finance minister should stand down this bill. There should be further consultation on this matter. The industry players have issued a statement.
I recognize the minister responsible for communication.
The industry players
Minister for
have expressed some concerns.
Honorable Minority Leader, I recognize the Minister for Communication.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we are all colleagues in the House. For the minority leader to say that some of us don't come to the chamber and we are only whipped in to come and make noise when it's time to vote is offensive and must be withdrawn because it is unparliamentary. He must apologize and withdraw.
Yes, Minority Whip.
Speaker, you had earlier recognized the Minister for Communication to speak. Speaker, may I refer you to Order 115? Order 115. The Minister for Communication is in direct breach of Order 115. I invite you to rule him out of order. Yes, and his comments should be expunged from the records. Check. Open your records. Open your orders. Go and sit on your seat.
Mr. Speaker, I am in my seat, and Mr. Speaker, I want to state for the records that in this house, it is unparliamentary, it is unbecoming, and it is unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, if it was any of the first-timers at the back who failed to attend orientation, who are going to behave that way, we will forgive them. But not when it is the Osahini who is the minority leader. He must set a good example. He must withdraw and apologize to this side of the house. And so, Mr. Speaker, he must withdraw. Honorable Kelvin, please resume your seat.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I think the minority leader, Mr. Speaker, the minority leader was still on his feet when my good friend, the communication minister, got up to interrupt him. I know that. But Mr. Speaker, the reason I rose up is because you ever ruled here that when the leaders are on their feet, it is only the two leaders who can rise up on a point of order against them. I want your guidance on it. Whether we are still sticking by the same rules or the rules have changed. He is now a minister. And I've also seen a new person sitting at the front bench, and he's been shouting. He keeps shouting and banging the table. Mr. Speaker, either he goes to sit at his place or he behaves as a leader. I should not be banging the table. But Mr. Speaker, I really need your guidance on the first point I raised. I thank you very much.
Honourable members, let's get it clear. When you are on your feet speaking, we listen with a rapt attention. Honourable members, when you are debating and you are out of order, sometimes we know. It is at that point that if a member is on his feet, we are inclined to listen to that member. Honourable members, when there is no issue or point of order and you are on your feet, the speaker may ignore you. Honourable members, let's be guided by the rules. For you to say that some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to make noise. Let's consider this statement as to whether it is offensive or it is not offensive. Honourable members, though the leaders have a right to debate without interruption, does not necessarily mean that when a clear case is made, I will not listen to the member. Honourable members, if the use of the word, some members do not come to the chamber, they only come to the chamber to make noise, according to our rules, is offensive. then I will call on the minority leader to do the needful and let's make progress.
Mr. Speaker, before I proceed with my submissions, let me to listen and listen in silence. I keep reminding the majority backbench that if they disrespect our front bench, they shouldn't expect the leader of the House to be respected. Because, Mr. Speaker, when the leader is on his feet, we try to listen. Even this afternoon, the leader went below the belt, but I restrained myself. Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker, I believe that it is unacceptable to be yelling, recklessly heckling when a leader is on his feet making an argument. And Mr. Speaker, you did indicate that on such occasions where there will be even the need to interrupt, it should take the leader to interrupt me. But not when backbenchers will be shouting and all that. But, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when they start heckling, they start hiding their faces. Be bold and let me identify you. When we meet at the coffee area, you and I. Show your faces. Let me see. Mr. Speaker, that is on a lighter note. It's all right. Mr. Speaker, all we are saying is that this government must act in good faith. Honorable
Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Minority
this
Leader.
government must act in good faith.
Honorable Minority Leader, I urge upon you to do the honorable thing and let's make progress. So please, Honorable Minority Leader, please.
Speaker, so my colleagues at the backbench, respectfully, let's have some tolerance to listen to one another. I promise you that to the extent that you will be quiet and listen, you won't be hearing phrases like you are making noise. You won't hear that. So you be quiet. Don't make the room noisy.